And this one is just one single company. So you can see that this one is like the Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Facebook, and now Tesla is the top company. So you can see the mass transformation that we are living right now. So I would like to put this example of Instagram, right? So I'm just focusing right now just in the small part, in the beginnings of Instagram. So what happened with this exponential company and well, probably you know better what is going on right now and the number of users. But if you check just the beginning of what is happening, and this is because of the technology and how cheap and easy to build and disrupt industries, right? So in 2009, Kevin Systrom is like the founder of Instagram. He started to work on a project called Bourbon. Then in March, sorry, this one is 2019. I made a mistake, but this one is in 2019 March. Systrom closes 500,000 seed funding round with Anderson, right? Anderson Horowitz, which is the guy that we were talking about, the software seed in the world. Then in 2019 in May, Instagram launches. And just launching, it grabs just 100K users just in one single week, just one single week. Then in December, it hits 1 million users. So just check the timeline, right? So this is impressive. It's like what is happening, and this is because of even this one is becoming an economy of scale. Like in 2011 in September, Instagram hit 10 million users. Sorry, I'm messing around with the date. It's like for some reason it changed everything. But just focus on the last one. In 2012, on April, Instagram raises 50 million from venture capitalists, and then just the same month, like Facebook acquires Instagram for 1 billion in cash and stuff. So this is just the time frame from 2019. I'm sorry for this one to 2012. Just acquired this one, right? It's just, and that one is just many stories that are happening right now around the world. So, and if you pay attention to, and if you like this thing about the tech talk and what is happening with the market, with stock market, so you can see that everything now is like even the 5 tech giants that make up a significant amount of the Standard & Poor's 500 index are the fan stocks like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. So, but you have to check what is happening around in the other side, right? So we have AI stocks, we have Internet of stocks, and semiconductor stocks. So pretty much everything now is just becoming technology driven, and that's what we're seeing. Even not in the stock market, in the industry. So everyone is just jumping on the boat just to get into this technology revolution. So let's talk about a little bit more into the cyber security market. So this one, the cyber security market has seen a significant growth driven by companies just adopting this new remote working, right? But this one has brought different challenges as well to secure and pretty much be more exposed into the cyber world. So now we have, according to Cyro, there is the cybersecurity sector by itself is forecast to triple over the coming decade, just due to the increased demand. So imagine just triple over in the following 10 years. So unfortunately, there is a shortage of suitable skilled candidates in this sphere, right? So just in Australia, and I'm going to be focusing just in Australia, so what is happening in the world, and then you can translate this one into a global perspective. Just in Australia, we will require almost 18,000 additional workers in this field by 2026, just to meet the demand. And I think that they are going a little bit short into this one. So according to the Department of Home Affairs in Australia, right now, Australian enterprises are spending an estimated of 29 billion just addressing cybersecurity crimes in Australia. Furthermore, 20% of the businesses say they will pay, just check this one, it's like they will pay a ransom between $10,000 and $20,000 just to retrieve stolen data. And almost 1 in 10, just 10% will pay more than 50,000 just for ransom. So like this is what is happening. It's like the companies are feeling vulnerable with 91% encountering that these attacks have been happening between 2017 and 2018. So we are living in a world, and this is personal opinion and more based on what is happening. Probably the wars are being fought in the cyberspace. Not right now, really, with nuclear bombs or anything else. It's just like the cybersecurity just across countries. Maybe that one is a topic for someone else to in the tech trends. So basically, so what we have is a massive shortage. So there are massive shortage across professionals, like for cybersecurity professionals in around the world, just reaching nearly 3 million people. So just think about it, right? It's just one area, but just with 3 million people. And this one is like, this is that probably is not really into what is happening after COVID-19. But because the cyber attacks are becoming increasingly sophisticated, right? So a lot of these hackers are finding the opportunity to really just attack vulnerable people and then get these ransoms from there. So so the demand for professionals skilled in this area is growing immensely. So according to different companies like Accenture, over the last 3 years, the number of global leaders are spending billions of dollars just in IT budget just to cover for this. So what are the main drivers right now in terms of tech hiring and what is happening in terms of the skills required in this area? Is like what we're seeing is just a really increased specialization in cybersecurity experts. So right now it's not enough just to have like a master's degree or just to have the basics of cybersecurity. What is happening right now is they are asking for more specialized areas where they want them to focus, or they want to have people to cover for these areas of vulnerability. So the other one is what is happening in the world with the cloud first approach. Right now, it's a lot of companies are moving more from this world that they used to have all this hardware all over the place, and now they are going into the cloud first, right? So that one is happening, and that one is just bringing more vulnerabilities into these companies. So another one is data protection. Right now, is like it has become a really kind of important, even for people, for us, just to really understand exactly how companies are sharing data from us and what is happening with that information around the world. So that's what is happening. And then what is happening is like there are more regulations right now, like GDPR, probably that the most important one around the world, and then the most strict that is just covering for this one. And there are augmented opportunities right now happening around in this cybersecurity world. So these augmented opportunities are more in the way that how the new engineers, software engineers, or companies are using AI, machine learning, and other technologies to really detect fraud just in advance. This one has been happening probably many decades ago, but right now it's becoming better, right? So we have better technologies. Really, AI is just reaching this point where we can really start trusting in these kind of they're really, I would say, like technology brains to start working or helping us to do a better job. And this one is being something happening as well in the cybersecurity space. So what are the fastest growing cybersecurity roles in Australia? So the principal security engineer, that one is like, this one is from 2019 to 2020 or 21, it's 110% growth. Just think about it, like more than 100%, like just for this one, right? And then you can see the other ones, it's like director of cybersecurity, cybersecurity analyst. So everything is just up into this one. And then the skills, the fastest growing cybersecurity skills required just here in Australia. This, again, this is more in a local environment. Like we have the cloud security, like this one is the number of professionals. Amazon Web Services, this one is another skill that the companies are looking for. The security information and what happens when there is a hack. Like not many companies know exactly what they have to do. They don't have a chief security officer. If someone is hacked, what happens? Like they don't know that they have to report it. So there are a lot of processes, and that one is just becoming an area with experts just coming into the companies and just really helping into that one, which is part of the incident response. A little bit strange is like this one in the Splunk. Maybe I'm not that familiar, and someone else will be more familiar with this technology, but I don't know why that one is becoming something really important into cybersecurity. But of course, data analysis and Python is just one of the required skills as well. And probably that one is more along the data processing and a little bit in Python, which is a programming language. It's like that one is becoming really popular among the data scientists. So that could be the possibility or the reason to be there. So just to get you excited, it's like if you are a chief information security officer, you can get paid 20 to 30 plus bonus and plus other things that you may have, or even just going for the point of view as security analyst, you can go from 100 to 140 maximum into this space. This one is Australia, right? So it's like if you check the US salaries and the rates, that one just over the top. So this one, as you can say, so it's like you can see, it's something. It's very well paid. It's not that easy to get into that one because you need more specialization, but it's something that it will be increasingly becoming more important in the following decades. And if you are thinking about just specializing in something into a new area and jumping into something more exciting, maybe cybersecurity is your goal. Okay, so let's talk about data science and analytics. Like this one, everyone knows about this one, right? Like as many say, like data is the new oil. And the past decade has seen an immense growth in data and applications to the world. So yeah, the world just needs more data scientists and analysts who can really effectively extract the value from insights. So I don't know, many companies not really looking into this one and say, yeah, you know what, like I think that this is something that we have to jump in because it's just the future, right? Like data is the most valuable thing in a company, and now everyone realizes of that one. So which are the most in-demand skills in data science and analytics? So if we check the one on your left, like the augmented analytics, which is the artificial intelligence, anything that it has to do with more with the algorithms that unsupervised algorithms, or more with the something that is happening in the background and learning, that one is something that is just growing very rapidly into this market. So there is the NLP, or natural language processing, which is just the analytics or analysis of text. data simplification, of course, it's like we rubbish in, rubbish out. So it's like we have to understand how to create better data in order to get better insights. And the data migration, right? Like with these, everyone just jumping into these new data data excitement. Like a lot of companies realize that they don't have the infrastructure and neither the skills to migrate into these new technologies. So there is this kind of this need right now in order to make it happen. And of course, the big companies just investing in this area is insurance, like financial services, of course, like that one is just the big one, which is just it is the one that probably just has the most visible economic reward if they apply that one, and also the one that is having more impact. Of course, higher education, health, and big pharma. Now with COVID, it's just becoming more apparent. Just start investing into this one, and retail is another one that is on the map. The growth sectors. So, and this one is just analysis on LinkedIn with the job data scientists and data analysts with the most popular skills that you need in this one. So 60% is SQL, like Python, the programming language is, as I said, like that one is just becoming really popular. So it's a good time if you like data and you like analytics, probably it's a good time to start learning in Python. R is just another programming language, which really is more for statisticians, but it's really kind of helping to build all these models in an easy way. So now there is a kind of a competition and probably taking over Python over R, but R is still like a popular language. And then there are business analysts, machine learning, and of course the Tableau and Power BI tools or professionals with these skills for visualization. Okay, so what are the challenges that we have in data science and analytics? Is the investment. So the big data is taking over the world, but how do you prove that it's really that it's going to really make the impact into what you're doing, right? Like some companies they just invest millions of dollars into software and hardware to realize at a certain point that probably was more skilled, they didn't have the strategy, and they invested all this money without really the outcomes that they were expecting. And I was there, right, when I was working for another company, for another insurance company. That happened many years ago. But that's part of the investment. That's part of the test and learn attitude, and that's what is happening with a lot of these companies. So there are a lot of platforms right now. It's like you don't know even where to look at. Amazon, Splunk, like and probably there are so many more over there that you don't know what is happening. There's like so many tools, and they don't talk between each other very well. So that one's another challenge. And then ethical fears. What are you going to do with my data? That's the big issue that now customers want to really get into that one, and companies, of course, is like they are, wow, so how do I manage this one? So, and diversity is like just if you are a female, just go for it. You can just become a data scientist if you want it. So try to increase this percentage just to reduce the 76% of males here, right? Like, yeah. So just to get you excited, this one is really good. Like if you're in this range, if you're working as a data scientist and data analyst and you are not in this range, probably it's time to get a rise or to start getting more specialized to get a rise. So this one, remember that this one is just kind of a journey. So this one is just to see what it could be possible if you become an insights analyst, manager, or data analyst. But as you can see, it's like over time, this one is a very very well paid job, and in the future it will probably be into this trend that, as we saw, software is hitting the world. So if you are not in software, probably you won't get these salaries, or who knows, right? Depends on what to do. So the skills that you need in data science is like as I said, like it's a good time, maybe SQL, Python, and R. The 45% of this one of professionals, they have these skills, professional in this area. 27% are skilled in business analysis, which is really important in this one. Machine learning, like they possess the skills. So if you know R, probably you know a little bit more statistics into this one, just to understand more machine learning. And then, of course, experiencing how to visualize the Tableau and Power BI, and then cloud technologies. And if you had a chance and you did a bachelor in master's degree in engineering, math, or stats, or physics, or computer science, probably that's what they consider that is essential. But don't get discouraged even if you don't have this one. So let's talk about now food. Let's shift a little bit more into very high level decentralized finance, right? Like there has been a lot of hype, buzz, skepticism, confusion, and probably excitement around what is the decentralized finance, which is coming from the whole Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the blockchain technology. So I won't go into the blockchain because that one is probably another topic. I will explain a little bit what is happening in that world. But this one, I really think that we should pay attention to what is happening in the financial sector with decentralized with these technologies, because I think that it's one of the areas that it will quickly see the benefits of using the blockchain, which is already seeing these benefits, and it will have a huge impact in the following years into what is happening, where it's going to be another kind of revolution. So just to give you an idea, it's like the Ethereum. Ethereum is, if you think about Bitcoin as a digital gold, as they call it, or as a coin, you have to see Ethereum, which is another blockchain technology or infrastructure. You have to see it more as the operating system. So if you think about like your Windows system, this will be your Windows system that you will be creating on top of Ethereum. You will be creating apps or dApps, as they call it, like digital apps. It's like the decentralized apps, sorry. It's like Google and everything. That is just to make an app. And then DeFi, as they call it, it has been, the way that has been working, it's like they have been settled 1.5 trillion transactions in the last quarter. Just that one is just 50% of Visa's payment volume. So this is happening. It's not just a buzz or hype. It's something that it will have an impact in the world. So what are the three major waves of blockchain innovation? The first one, it is the Bitcoin, which was invented in 2009 for who knows who. Like but that one gives us what is called the distributed ledger, right? Or the blockchain technology. So just if you have time and you don't know much about this one, just go into anywhere, just blockchain and everything, and start just getting into that one. But that one is just the whole idea was just to facilitate the peer-to-peer transfer of digital assets. The second wave then happened with Ethereum, right? Like it starts just with the same concept of distributed ledger, but what they did is just to create this kind of architecture. Yeah, that's probably the right word that they have to put here. It's just the architecture to really create even its own programming language, to really start creating applications. Solidity is the native programming language of Ethereum, but that one is just one of the things that it has been helping this ecosystem to really grow and start just creating very, very cool things, more in the financial sector, but also in other areas to start playing around this one. And the third wave is just the initial, I don't know if if you're following this one about the blockchain, there was an initial coin offering, just kind of listing on the stock exchange, but now listing in the Ethereum ecosystem, and that's when it was happening, and that was another boom where happened with Ethereum. And now, yes, DeFi is just kind of a fourth wave, right? Because it's building a combination of these innovations. Sorry, I'm just 30 minutes right now. Do you want me to continue, or should I wrap it up? Okay, no.
We are going well. Perhaps 5 more minutes if you want to.
Yeah, perfect.
Wrapping up.
I'll do it. Yes. Thank you. So, okay. So what are the most in-demand roles in blockchain? Of course, software engineering is one of the big ones, but we can see that the marketing, operations, finance are as well just something that is required in this area. So finally, this is the end of the conversations, like the evolution of the remote work. So what we have, so this is probably a different way to explain what is happening right now with COVID, remote working, and and where we are going right now, right? So remote 1.0 is like the first way of modern remote first, right? So there were some companies like GitLab, Satya, and some other companies like started just do kind of asynchronous communication, like using tools like Google Docs, Slack, and other tools. Yeah, it wasn't really working very well because it's like the video conference technology was clumsy, unreliable, and making it like really frictionless real-time communication. Yeah, not really feasible. So, but it was kind of the start of just working remotely, right? It was just kind of paving the way to the technology that it was coming. So remote 2.0 is a phase where we are in right now. So this one is kind of as close, approximates the in-person work because we are relying on the video conference tool, which is this one right now. But what is happening right now is like there are challenges. Well, right? It's like there are tools and everything like Zoom, Google Meet, and everything that is making it easier. But right now we are just getting these not being able to unplug, and that one probably has become one of the top complaints among remote workers. So you're always on, right? And then you're start getting Zoom fatigue in right now, and then with COVID, it's like that one was like big. And what is coming is remote 3.0, right? So that one is the phase ahead of us, and that one is the kind of hybrid work. So right now it's like we are having the same issues with the remote 2.0, but probably just kind of different and bigger. So I don't know. It's like the pandemic is like level up all these fields and start pushing everyone to remote work. And now that we are coming back into the office. Now we don't know how we are going to be working. So kind of with hybrid work, it's creating kind of a second-class citizen problem right now. So it's one of the issues like the employees are finding it much harder to really participate in core company functions and to be included in casual conversations. So that's kind of a challenge that we are heading towards. But one thing is for sure. Remote working is here to stay. So what is kind of the future, right? The future is something that is called multiplayer. So this one is real-time collaboration. Instead of just having these tools like Microsoft Word, Excel, they kind of allow you to collaborate, but they don't work that seamlessly, or they are very kind of restricted. Right now, what is happening is just kind of the game changing is to be a multiplayer company. So I don't know if you have a chance to just have a look to this tool Figma. If you are a user experience or in UI kind of designer, there is this tool called Figma that is allowing you to really go and start interacting into the same design and collaborating in real time. So there is this other tool called Miro, for example, Miro, M-I-R-O, that you can go and then everyone can start just contributing. This is what is happening, right? It's taking longer. That's the future. The future is multiplayer. So if you're into the software, imagine that if you're into the software, you were a software developer. It's like in the past, it's like, well, there is a programming technique that you sit with another person, but what they are doing is just looking at, they have their own screen, another keyboard, but they have the same computer. So pretty much they can interact between each other into the same code. So imagine this one into any tool that you have, and that's what it is, multiplayer. So that's what is happening right now. I'll wrap it up there just to finalize the chat. And I hope that you took a little bit of everything and it was useful for you. So thank you. And yeah, and if you're planning just to jump into a new kind of career, or you're thinking to specialize or improve yourself, just think about your grit. This is from a book called Grit. So yeah, so you have to drive for achievement regardless of any upbringing or situation. So it's always hard work.
Fantastic. That's so encouraging, Alejandro. Let's just find the reactions emojis and offer Alejandro an applause for such an insightful talk. I like how encouraging you are. It's such a booming moment that anyone could get involved. There is so much work with all this you presented that anyone could have a change of career or deepen into any of the topics. I invite you all to unmute yourself if you want to ask a question, or if you're shy, just pop it in the chat and I'll ask Alejandro the most commonly asked questions. Do you have any question for Alejandro? Anyone? Paula was asking about programming languages. How would you prioritize programming languages for someone who doesn't have a software engineering background? What would be a good language to start working with for data science?
That one's a good question. It's like, yeah, basically depends of what you really want to specialize. It's like there are so many programming languages out there that you will be overwhelmed. To be honest, it's like if you're thinking more in the web, kind of the web development, I will say JavaScript is a really strong one that it probably will continue to be there. But maybe JavaScript, Python, if you are into data science and analytics, yeah, I will go into those two. But it really depends of what you what you want to specialize in.
And I would even say SQL is a given across all industries, because even in marketing and very basic tasks of marketing automation, SQL is quite useful. Yes, and even if a high-level tools such as Power BI or Tableau would be the way to go, not even touching on Python, you just still need SQL to make it more powerful. We have noise, Luis, if you can mute yourself. There was a...
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but there is a buzzing noise that's a bit upsetting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the audio. Do you want to write your question or your comment on what you want to say? Because there was an audio situation there. And Susana was also sharing that she is part of a group where they support each other to learn a bit more about it. Do you want to complement the programming languages question, Susana?
I'm a data engineer in Interwork, so yeah, definitely on the data side, a lot of Python, a lot of definitely SQL. You wouldn't be able to do anything without SQL. A little bit of, yeah, it could be even Python. I was just thinking on more procedural stuff for the data. In some databases, it's possible, so but with Python, it should be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Any other comment on that topic, Pedro? You have seen in the industry on programming languages that are key?
Yeah, I would actually maybe move away a little bit from choosing a language. It's more like choosing the area that you want to be into, whether it's data, whether it's web development, as Alejandro said, and then learn whatever you have to, the tools of the trade, right? Whatever is useful then.
Yeah, it wasn't that open. I think the question was specifically if you are in data.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all languages. Yeah, you never end. But in data.
Yeah.
Yes, Luis, that's still a sound. It's there is a very strong static sound.
Yeah.
Right.
So
maybe just write your comment or your question.
Is it better?
Now it's better.
I think one quick comment about data, specific knowledge or useful learning around the issue of data, and again distinguishing a little bit from between artificial intelligence, machine learning, from actual just traditional statistical analysis and things like that. Yeah, but I think Alejandro mentioned it, but there's a shortage I see of people that truly understand Power BI or that kind of tool for analysis. And I think a lot of corporates need people that understand that. Now, I think very seldom they will say, I need a Power BI expert. Normally, someone that is an expert in some other field of the industry that happens to understand Power BI very well as well, and then can apply to that area. Yeah, but I think that kind of data analysis tools, large languages, I think that's definitely something that everybody should have in their arsenal of knowledge. Yeah, to make sure
yes,
they
for
have
sure, sure. Even before worrying about programming languages, there is a huge need of Power BI experts, and it's the natural step upwards. If you are doing any business and know a bit of Excel, then moving on to Power BI would be the natural step, particularly because it's ubiquitous with most of organizations having Office 365, and Power BI would be the choice, the tool of choice for data visualization. Any other questions in the audience? Luis, you wanted to say something?
Yes. Well, I mean, Python are, as Elena and Pedro were mentioning, the BI tools, definitely, they are something really important, particularly for today. But I don't know. I mean, my experience being in this field is very easy to go with the hype of what is happening today. But what is usually difficult is actually foreseeing what is coming. So Elena at some point mentioned, not today, like personally with me, some languages like Julia and things that are thought to be the languages of the future, let's say like in 10 years or so. Is there anything like that you can see today that is maybe not what is required today, but might be the thing of the future?
That's a good question, right? Like the, I don't know, it's like the, yeah, I think it is like functional programming. Probably it's maybe I will say that you have to be a pragmatic programmer, right? If you want to get into this one, it's like you have to understand the concept more around software engineering and how to build good software, and that one is just becoming a pragmatic software engineer. So that means that it doesn't really matter what you really need to learn. You just go and grab it because you have the understanding on how it should work. So that's what I would say. And there is a really good book about that one that is called Pragmatic Programmer, a very old one, like that you can grab, and then just have a look to that one. It's very good if you want to understand how systems or software should be built, and then how you can become that kind of agnostic programming language developer.
Thank you.
Anyone else? One last question before we move on to speed networking. No? Okay, well, thank you, Alejandro.